Bali Bungkus about 6 common mistakes about WordPress. Until yesterday I thought it was WorldPress, but I know better now. And tomorrow we scheduled another Bali Bungkus about marketing strategy, the logical steps. There you will learn about how to develop a sustainable marketing strategy and how to build a powerful brand. We have that tomorrow at 2 after members lunch. Okay? Yes. Okay, so yeah, have fun now. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so I'm Daniele Besana. My name is Daniele Besana, and I'm gonna talk about the common mistakes that WordPress site owners should avoid. So basically the essential technicalities for non-technical people. So I don't want to go in details about technical stuff in this presentation. It's more for people that have a business or have a online project and they use WordPress for business. So I was struggling about finding a title for this presentation, so I came up with a few ideas. First one was a WordPress website wellness, a checkup to evaluate, diagnose, and cure the most common issues, but it felt a bit like doctor stuff. 6 ways to avoid having WordPress crush your dreams. Got WordPress, now manage it. And then my favorites ones were how to align the 7 chakras of your WordPress site for long-lasting web fulfillment, and how to manage your WordPress website, the inner dashboard journey. So they are very Ubudian titles, the last 2. But yeah, at the end I settled for the 6 common mistakes WordPress site owners should avoid. Okay, a few words about who I am. I'm Italian, if you didn't already spot it from the way I talk. I had a long career in IT career, always doing customer support. I was in the networking and network security field for 12 years, and that's the reason why I moved to Amsterdam, the city where I am based now. And I had the opportunity to work with very small companies and business owners, but also with very huge companies, banks, telcos, things like that. And at a certain point of this career, a friend of mine gave me 4 hours per week from the book from Tim Ferriss. I think maybe you've heard of it. And I became a victim of Tim Ferriss because I started thinking that I want to be my own boss, travel the world, live more, live large, and all these nice ideas. So I decided to focus on the web because it has a lot of opportunities. And I started buying websites that were already existing, something that is not very well known and not very popular, but investing in websites that were already existing and putting together my technical knowledge and the internet marketing knowledge that I was studying. I was working to make them more profitable. And then, of course, things they never work as planned, right? So it was a lot of struggle to find these websites, a bit of ups and downs. And then I start helping a friend doing WordPress support, basically, and freelancing doing WordPress work. And then I realized that at that point I realized that after my 12 years career, nothing changed in support. So the small customers, the small companies, they still didn't get proper support. And there was an episode that one of the first customers is a nice company in Italy that they sell courses for lawyers. And one of the first things we did, we had to change to move the website, but something went wrong, unfortunately, and they were without emails. The email didn't work. So I was very worried, and I stayed the whole day checking, looking closely what was going on. Finally, 9:30 in the evening, the email started working again. Then I sent an email to them. Okay, finally, I'm so really sorry for what happened, all the problem you had, but now the email works again. And basically was off the whole day. The day after, in the morning, well, actually it was already lunchtime, I got the reply from the woman working there saying, "Oh, you already solved the problem. You guys are computer genius." And and I was like, "Oh wow, it's amazing," because they didn't perceive. They are obviously used to have problems lasting for days, sending emails to people that never reply, and all these type of things. And I used to work with banks that they had something like 99.99% of, the system must work for 99.99% of the time. that means less than one, that can be not available for less than 1 hour during 1 year. So imagine the difference. And then I decide, okay, that I was inspired by this quote. I believe that every man, woman, and child with online business must have professional technical support before they die. And this is a tribute to Mark Twain. And now the bragging slide. So just to say, well, I decided to start WPOK, that is a company specialized in WordPress support, first of all. A bit of bragging about this, well, what we have done so far in 2 years and a half, more than 600 closed tickets, I mean, problem solved, more than 100 customers, and we are a team of 4 WordPress experts. Our customers, this is the map of where they are. Please help us, because we really need someone in South America and Australia, and well, for Africa we have Canary Island. I don't know if they really count, but and yeah, and well, you probably know Kasia. Is she here? No, she's saying. Okay. Well, she spent some very nice words about our service, because Hubud is a customer of us for the website maintenance since a couple of months now. Well, enough about me. So let's see, who are you? So who has a WordPress site here? Okay. And who doesn't have a WordPress site?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Fine. And who has someone maintaining the site? But you say you don't have the website.
I have a website, but it's not a WordPress.
Ah, okay. Okay.
There's a bug in the question.
Yeah, I have to fix the question. Who has someone maintaining the WordPress site? And who uses WordPress for business? Okay, nice. You too. Okay, nice. So without further ado, let's jump in the 6 common mistakes that WordPress site owners should avoid or must avoid. So the first one is we talk about backups, and here you're saying, oh, backups, yeah, the hosting does that, yeah, why backups? Well, first of all, the backup is a copy of your website, to put it very bluntly, and probably you know what is backup. You probably have backup from your phone, from your contacts, from your pictures. It's basically a copy, because things may go wrong, and they will go wrong sometimes. And is for me the first and most important thing to have to start with is the backups, because we can make our website amazing. We can spend a lot of time and money building our brand and our website, but if we don't have a backup in case things go wrong, there is no point. And with the time, we have seen, unfortunately, situations where the backup didn't work, and these are the 5 most common errors. The first one is trusting the hosting, because many hosting already provide a backup, and the mistake is to think that, okay, the hosting is doing that, so I don't have to worry about the backup. But we have seen a few situations where the hosting doesn't. Some hosting, they do proper backups and everything. Some others, they do maybe partial backups, or they do it once a month. That's quite kind of useless. Or we had one customer that the hosting account expired because he forgot to pay, and he didn't receive notification. Okay, it was a bit of a strange situation. And then after some time, if you stop paying the hosting has no responsibility, and you cancel everything, your website and also the backups. So that was really bad. The second problem is to leave the backup files on the server. So it's the equivalent of putting all the eggs in one basket. Gives the idea, right? So if something goes wrong with the hosting company, I've seen hosting company server farm go on fire. It happened in Italy a couple of times. So if things go really wrong, or if the server can have any problems, so the backup should not be in the same on the same location, basically.
I'm sorry. Is non-technical people hosting and server, or are those the same thing?
Yes, basically you pay for a hosting service. The hosting service gives you space on a server for your website. Yeah. This makes sense?
Yes, I just don't know how to make the backup yet, but I'm
Okay, yeah. Third mistake, sometimes people install a backup plugin on their WordPress site and they say, okay, every now and then I will do the backup. So trusting that they are going to do the backup manually themselves, and then weeks pass by, months pass by, and when something happens, you realize that you have a very old backup, and in the meantime, the website has been completely changed, so the backup is not very useful at that point. So the backup should be automatic and not rely on someone doing it manually. Another mistakes we saw, keeping too few backups. I mean, it's good to have a very recent backup, ideally from yesterday, but sometimes there are problems that appear, and you may take a few days before you realize there is a problem. There are some nasty malware stuff that maybe you realize after a couple of weeks that your website actually has a problem, but you don't see, it's not something that you see immediately. So it's important to keep a good amount of backups. So to store, for example, backups for 30 days. So I know that if there is a problem now, a problem that started 2 weeks ago, I have the backup, because otherwise, if I restore the backup from yesterday, the problem is already there. And the last problem, common problem, not verifying the backups. So okay, we have the backups, but we never check what is inside. Does it work? Does not work? And then when you need it, you find out, okay, actually this backup didn't do anything, because it was saving I don't know, something else, or hasn't been verified.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah, of course.
What if you want? We record this session, so I can also send you the link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question for later?
Okay.
About
Yes.
because it's about the last point. So what's the best way to verify a backup? Because when you have a production website, it's not that you can play,
Yeah.
oh, let's verify, and doesn't work, and so.
Yeah, so let's say in the books, they say you should restore the backup and verify that everything is working fine. In real life, it's very hard to make, especially if you have a small company with one website that you don't have a test environment, things like that. So on the basic level, just make sure that if you set your backup to be daily and saved on Google Drive, just make sure that the file is on Google Drive. That if you open the file, the content is the WordPress files and not something else. And now the solution part. Okay, so we saw common problems. What do you want? You want a backup solution that has scheduled backups, so there is no reason not to have them daily. So you want a backup every day that are saved in the cloud. And the cloud, with cloud I mean Google Drive or Dropbox, these type of services that are very reliable and very safe place to store files. You want backups that are complete, so all the files, also the database, and if you have two WordPress, sometimes it happens you have maybe two WordPress installation on your domain. You want both of them to be saved there, and and they have to be reliable. So I give an example of a couple of plugins for WordPress that do this, that gives this type of backups. Again, I'm not going to go in details about configuring them or anything, but there are tutorials and everything, but just to give a few names. So one is Updraft Plus, one is Backup Buddy, and the last one is WP Time Capsule. That's our favorite, the one we use on all the websites. And because it has all these characteristics, basically, it allows you to do backups every day, saved on Google Drive or Dropbox. You can keep up to, now up to 120 days of backups, so you can restore up to 120 days back, and it's very reliable. So the second most common issue we have seen is related to owning your assets. So imagine, so there was this guy, his name is Marco, and he had a very nice e-commerce site, and he decided to work with us. He wanted some changes, some improvements, okay. And then it took 1.5 months for him to give us access to his website. Why? Because the developer, the person that developed the website, never let him, didn't give him access basically to the website. Was kind of keeping him hostage, or it happens quite often actually that the website owner doesn't have access to all the components that are important to have. And now imagine that you build a nice villa and you go there to live with your family and everything, and then you realize that the land is not yours, it's from the builder, and you don't have a certificate, he has it, and he's not going to give you the certificate. Or it's a bit what happens in Indonesia every day, but that's, yeah, imagine like you realize that you don't own the land where you built your villa. So when we talk about, it's the same thing when we talk about websites. So what are the assets? The domain name, the hosting account, the social media account, third-party services like Google Analytics or Search Console, other services like the email services, maybe use MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, whatever service, and also plugin licenses. So all these assets, they must be on your name, or the name of your company, of course, and under your control. No middleman, no someone else having control of these things. And I know it's very, very easy and simple for people that are non-technical to say, I don't understand anything about domain. Yeah, you do it. Hosting, I don't know, I trust you. But when things don't go right, or there may be situations where, yeah, that's not correct, basically. You need to have these assets on your control. And then you can give them to someone else to manage them. Okay, manage my domain. The moment you don't want this person to manage your domain, you just change password, you adjust things, but you must have full control of these things. And yeah, well, since we are talking about hosting, there is always this question about what is the best hosting for WordPress. And I'm not gonna give any name because there are many, but I'm gonna give some characteristics that a good WordPress hosting must have. So the first one is a support 24/7 by chat or by email tickets or runaway. I mean, if they give only phone support, that's not something acceptable nowadays. Like you have to call every time you speak with other people. So, the support needs to be really good because your website needs to work. It's not. I've seen in Netherlands. Sorry, Leonie, some hosting companies that they give support from 9 to 5. That's not acceptable anymore. I mean, at 5:05, be sure that Dutch people are not there anymore. They are already cycling home. And your website has a problem, you have to wait the morning after. That's, yeah, maybe a few years ago, fine, your website can go down and have a problem, but nowadays, not really acceptable. Then expect replies within 1 hour or run away. If they take 4 hours to answer or days to answer a question, that's not acceptable. The replies needs to be helpful. I mean, you have a problem, they need to tell you something that helps to solve the problem. Not, yeah, has to be helpful. And a good hosting should not give you random errors. Like you open the website and you notice that there are like error 500. I mean, there are all these error codes that your website it gives an error. Of course, errors do happen even to Facebook and Google. Sometimes they have problems. But if that happens too often, it's a sign that the hosting is not doing a good job. Maybe the server is too overloaded. Maybe, well, it's a sign of bad quality.
Can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
You won't mention any like names, but is there any that common people should avoid that you don't like? That the people commonly make a mistake? In your opinion?
Yeah, GoDaddy.
Feel free to make our own choice.
Yeah, GoDaddy. I can only do negative recommendations. No, like one is GoDaddy.com. It's called.
That's
the
good or
company.
bad?
No, that's bad.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, yeah. We've seen many issues with that.
Bluehost?
Bluehost is it's borderline. It's cheap, but the support is yeah, it's getting worse. And sometimes the problem with recommendation is that things change so quite quickly. Like I used a hosting, was really excellent. Then it suddenly got acquired by an investing company, and they fire all the support guys, and they move the support somewhere else, and the waiting time in the chat jumped from 2 minutes to half an hour, and the quality of the answers went down a lot. So yeah, it's really changing. But I prefer to give you the parameters to understand if the one you're using is good or not.
SiteGround, is it okay? SiteGround.
SiteGround is the one we use, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's good for for everyone, but yeah.
Easy to move from one hosting company to other, the website.
Yes. So most of the hosting companies, when you activate a package with them, they do the transfer for you.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not a complex operation to do. So the mistake number 3 is related with speed, or better, the lack of speed when a website is slow. And there are 2 good reasons why your website should be fast. First one is that your visitors or customers are not going to wait, and they always say about this study, Kissmetrics study, that if the website loads in more than 3 seconds, 40% of the people will run away. I don't think it's like that black or white dramatic thing, but nobody likes to wait, and so a slow website, of course, affect how people. Maybe they don't run away, but your website has a kind of halo effect around your brand, and what people experience on your website psychologically is how they are going to think about you, about your brand, about your services. So if your website is slow, they will think that you are slow, or if your website looks messy, they think you're messy. Maybe they think your product is messy, even there is no direct correlation, but this is psychological. And that's why all the luxury brands, they spend a lot of money in making the website, the design, and making looks like a luxurious, because they want to give immediately this image. Anyway, the second good reason for the speed is that Google loves fast websites. They keep saying that the web should be faster, and now there are proofs that the website speed is one of the many parameters that influence how Google look at your website and how your website is going to be ranked. So there is GTmetrix is a service that helps test the website. So we can do a quick check. So who feels like giving his website for a check?
Luca.
Okay. Is but you say it's WordPress site?
No, it's not. You can try with the source.
Luca, .com. And okay, yeah, just one thing, when you do the test, it's always good to select to do the test from a location that is close to where your customers are. So in this case, London, because the only yeah, because you want to have the kind of the same vision as the customer have. And now in a few seconds there will be the results.
How much of your speed is determined by your hosting versus like the way you build your website?
Yeah, it's an important parameter, but with WordPress sites, most of the times there are many other factors that really slow down the website more than the hosting. But yeah, the hosting, let's say, is the engine. Okay. Sorry, Luca.
You come back in a week.
Well, this is the the report. Here below there are a lot of technical things. It explains what's the problem, and it also gives you details or what does that mean and how can be improved. But I don't. But yeah, I of course don't want to go into these all these technical things. But the important parameters are the load time, so 8 seconds to completely load the page. I guess I have to say it's quite average. I mean, there are much worse situations. How heavy is the page and the number of requests that are sent. So let's say every element, like every image, is one request. So if you have a lot of images and videos and many elements on the page, there are a lot of requests. And these are performance scores. They are an indication from, this is Google page speed, and this is Yahoo JSlow. They give indication. I mean, they are indications, again, without going too much in details. By the way, I tested Yahoo website, and they are really bad with their performance. And so, okay, I'm gonna give you a solution. I mean, the famous 80-20 rules, and so just the 3 steps that can increase the speed of your website. Even doesn't do everything, doesn't solve every problem, but they are 3 steps to start with and to improve a lot the speed. So the first one is to install a caching plugin. Well, caching basically is, it means that if a visitor requests the same image many times, for example, your logo image, the classical example, the logo is on every page of your website. He doesn't have to ask for the logo all the time to your server, but once he has the logo, he will just take it, he will cache it basically and use the same image on your page. So it's a very good thing to have, and I recommend this WP Rocket, is the name of a plugin. Very simple to use. It takes care of a lot of improvement just by installing and activating. So images is another big thing. This is a plugin, EU Image Optimizer, that because the image is not only about the resolution, but about how heavy is the image and optimized is the image. So you can have a same resolution, but one image is 1 megabyte, the other one is 200 kilobytes, and this plugin does optimize and compress the images for you without lose the quality of the image. And step number 3 is review the plugins. So the beauty of WordPress is that you can add a lot of functionalities using plugins, but every plugin makes your website a little bit slow, basically, because every plugin adds some more work for on your website. Actually, I can move this here. So when you review the plugins, you have to ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is it necessary? So maybe this plugin is something you use for your website, or you just install it to test something, but then you don't use it anymore. So does it need to be always active? Sometimes we see plugins that like import WordPress import. You don't import stuff every day into your WordPress. Maybe you use it only at the beginning. So if it's not doesn't need to be always active, you can deactivate it, and can be removed. So if can be removed, then deactivate the plugin, and you can also delete it. So you're gonna help the website to be faster.
So when the plugin is deactivated, it's not loaded in the page.
When the plugin is deactivated, it's not loaded in the page, but for security reason, it's still better to delete it, because even if it's inactive, it can still the code is there, can be called. So it's always better to deactivate and delete. And then, well, if you do these 3 steps and you retest again with GTmetrix, you will see the situation is much better. Okay, Luca? Okay, the 4th common mistake is security. I mean, security is not taking security seriously. So you have to protect your website from, not from the hackers, but from the malware. So there is this misconception that there are these bad guys in Russia that are hackers, and also in Brazil, by the way, and they are gonna attack the website. And small companies think, yeah, but I'm a small company, nobody cares, we don't have credit cards number and stuff. But that's wrong. There are malwares that are automatic scripts, and they just go around and they attack every website that has the door open to them, let's say. So the security is important to protect every website that is online, because there are these automatic scripts. And so how to improve the security and make sure that your website is always secure. And by the way, the security by definition is the reduction of the risk. So it's never like, oh, this is safe, that's it, nobody can do anything. But it's always reducing the risk. And the risk depends on the situation. Like, of course, a bank needs a certain type of security that the guy selling fruit at the corner doesn't need if he has a website. Probably not, but so yeah, I'm not saying things because I'm saying things that everyone should do regardless, not only for banks. Well, the first one is update WordPress and plugins, because every time they found a problem that malware can exploit to enter in a website, they release a new version of WordPress or a new version of the plugins or also a new version of the theme. So the first rule is to always keep these components updated. And every time we have seen many websites that were infected by malware, and all the time was because something was not updated. And so this keeps the website safe, but also the updates keeps the website working, because now the web is a dynamic environment, and maybe your website doesn't, if you don't update your website, okay, your website doesn't change, but elements around your website can change. For example, Facebook may change something and suddenly the number of shares of your articles doesn't show anymore, goes down to 0. That's not because your website has a problem, but because Facebook has changed something. So when you update the plugins, you are sure that they are always working with the latest changes. So the second step is install a security plugin, and we recommend WordFence. It's a very a popular plugin for security, and it already takes care of a lot of things out of the box. So we can test a website with this WordPress security scan. So who wants to? So, anyone, or shall I go with Luca again?
Movie.
No, it's not here.
No, only people that are here. Okay, let's go for the source again. In a few seconds, it will tell us the results. Change. Okay, maybe it's not gonna. It's too it's secure.
Maybe it's flying.
Okay, another website. Who feels like WordPress site? Anyone? Yeah, no, I think it's sometimes I think doesn't work this. Yeah, okay. I think it doesn't, but it gives a good analysis of the versions you are using, if there is any obvious problem, security problem.
Internal to WordPress.
Sorry?
This software is internal to WordPress?
No, this is everyone can go to this website and you can test any website you want. Yeah. But I think now it's okay. We can try later, Luca, don't worry. And then the third thing to improve security is actually to add your site to Search Console. Search Console is a tool by Google, and well, it doesn't protect your site. But if Google notices something wrong with your website, because there is Google is monitoring it's monitoring the websites, it can notifies you. So see this as a communication channel between Google and you. So Google can tell you your website has a security problem. That's pretty good to know. So it's important to add this. And the fourth step is to use HTTPS. So HTTPS is a secure protocol. That means that everything between your site and the computer of the visitor is going to be encrypted. Nobody can look into your what is passing by, and it definitely adds to the security of the website, and also the trust that people have towards your website. Google is pushing a lot website owners to switch to HTTPS, and now the new versions of Google Chrome, they're going to tell you this website is not secure if if the page is asking for sensitive information. So
when are they going to start to give the warning? Because I think it was October, but then it's not there yet.
So they start giving warning on if you ask for credit cards, that's pretty serious one, and passwords. And then I think last month, they also start giving warning on if you ask for an email, for example. So every page with an email subscribe opt-in form can have this message. So the fifth common mistakes are regarding usability and conversions. So usability is how easy it is for people to go around your website and find information, understand what they have to do. And while conversions is how easy it is for them to take the actions that you want them to take. So the golden rule is don't make them think. So don't make visitors think when they arrive on your website. They should be quite clear where to go. And so for this reason, every page should have one CTA. CTA means call to action, it's a marketing term. And let's give some examples. So what do you want them to do on your page? You want them to you want them to buy a product or a service? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Or do you want them to contact? Or you want them to contact you, so send you an email? Decide what you want them to do, and make every page in a way that makes clear what they have to do. Because sometimes there are too many things, and that's very distracting. Yeah, and second, avoid distractions. So especially in critical pages, like if you are buying a product, and you put the product on the cart. Now you are about to take out your credit card, and then you see this flashy pop-up or a banner that say, "Oh, check this video," and then you click on the video, and you are distracted from buying. That's not nice. So we see this type of problems with websites. And there is a very nice tool. It's called Hotjar, and allows to really record what people are doing on your website. So you actually see the mouse going around, how they scroll on the page, where they click. And it's a very addictive tool, and it's very useful because you can see really what people actually do on your website. And sometimes you realize that people are clicking maybe on an image thinking that's a link. People click on prices. That happens a lot. If you put a price but below you have the buy now button, still some people will click on the price thinking that if you click on the price you buy. So with this tool you can spot this type of behaviors and make your website better. So some common mistakes are also this maybe is a bit more about communication or the copy of the pages, but using stock images when you should not. So what do I mean? It's we see this website with the picture, this is our office, and you see these fantastic skyscrapers with mirrors and marble and everything fantastic, because they've just bought an image, a stock image, and that's very professional and look fantastic, but it's super fake, and people realize that. And then this is the picture of our team, and they are all very well dressed. Their face is always blurred, and they are shaking hands together, and yeah, it's good to have professionally taken images, pictures by a photographer, but it should be real. So don't be afraid to put your face, to put the face of your team, your office. If you work from here, fine. And another thing is the about page. Yeah, very often we still see this website with the about page telling how great they are, and we do this, we do that, we are good at this, we are good at that, without actually saying how. Yeah, they don't tell a story. For example, telling stories is very powerful, and so it's much more powerful telling a story than telling we are good at this, this, and that, or without telling how they can help what are the benefits for the customers. So it's not technical. This is not technical, but it's a very common problem we see. Okay, I'll give you an example. Sorry about this guy, the owner. But yeah, okay, this is the team. Isn't great? Of course, it's a stock image and taken for $5. And they are leading property consultancy, knowledge, dynamics, standing. I mean, they're good, but it doesn't really tell me. Yeah, there is not a story why they are so good. There is not an example. There is not a real face. I mean, I understand why they do. It's very common to do things this way, but from a communication point of view, it's not making me trust in them, and then it doesn't invite me to download this ebook. But I actually feel less trust. And yeah, another problem that there is this page. So you saw the pop-up asking to download an ebook. Here, fill in the form to receive our offers. Name, email, phone. They want the phone, okay. And then below again the ebook. And then okay, the address. And so there are too many call to actions here. What should I do on this page? Should I send them a message? No, this is not to send a message. This is to receive the offers. So do I want to receive the offers? Do I want to download the ebook, or do I want to contact them? So yeah, this can be done better to explain them the visitor, to guide the visitor towards what you can do. And second example, sorry Marco, that is this is a soap. Okay, now what is the problem with this? They sell soap, very friendly, environment friendly. Yeah, don't even know where to go. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna buy this soap. Okay, now. Okay, I'm buying now. This is the checkout page. Okay, so this is basically what I was saying before. I'm going to put here all my details, and I'm gonna choose how to pay. And here there are a lot of things here on the side, a lot of distractions. So this page, according to me, they should not have this sidebar with other products and and links and banners, images. It should be only very clean page with the checkout, because this is where all my attention and my intentions should go. Okay, so the last one is about technical SEO for non-technical people. So yeah, SEO is a very wide and very huge topic and subject. And yeah, there is a lot of misconception there also, and people, I think, a bit taking advantage of this, because everyone wants to be first in Google to get free traffic. And sometimes they sell the idea, okay, if you buy my service, I'm gonna put you #1 in Google. Actually, it's not like that. So SEO, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it requires a strategy. You have to get to, if you want to get visibility from Google, you need to have a strategy. SEO strategy is a very big, broad subject. So, but there are a few technicalities of the SEO that makes your website more friendly towards Google, and that's what I want to briefly talk about. So the first one, there is this plugin, Yoast SEO, that is a very popular plugin for SEO and takes care of a lot of things. So it improves the it improves how your WordPress site is seen by Google, with making some technical changes. Already, if you install and you activate the plugin, your website is better, and it allows you also to do more many other things. Like it helps you when you create a page. It helps you to make sure that the text it's SEO friendly. But let's say on a basic level, if you don't have this plugin, install and activate the plugin. That's already something. The second one is the permalinks for nice URLs. What do I mean? I mean the difference between a page that is about us. So imagine this is the URL that you see in the browser, or question mark p equal a number. And by default, WordPress uses this format, and it doesn't make the pages easy to remember. They don't tell anything to the visitors, but also they don't tell anything to Google. It's actually very important. The name of the URL of the page, it's a very important parameter for Google to understand what is the page about. So make sure that you are using URLs that are nice to read and that they have meaningful words. HTTPS helps, and the speed helps. Well, as I say before, Google likes websites that are faster, and it likes websites that they are secure. So there are studies that prove that websites that are faster and with HTTPS they get better rankings. So another one we saw a lot is the image SEO. That's very easy for everyone that use WordPress. When you load an image, the image should have a name that explains what the image is about. Because Google doesn't read images very well, but read text. So if you take an image out of your camera, it's probably has a name, something like DSC and a number. Just rename it in what the image is about. In this case, okay, WordPress support. And yeah, I show you here very.
How do you rename? You rename it like WordPress something?
Yeah, you rename it just from in your computer before uploading the image.
Yeah, but any name.
Well,
The name of your product. Or
yeah. So if the image is about
selling hammocks, for example.
Hmm?
I'm selling hammocks.
hammocks, great.
So
Yeah.
I
So if you have a
call it
picture of a hammock, yeah, hammock, Brazilian
Bali?
hammock,
Bali
yeah,
hammock.
Bali hammock.
Bali
Then
hammock.
you can put in the name hammock-Bali. So instead of leaving a name like
But
DSC
not
and a
the
number.
name of my company. I don't put the name of my company in the image.
Well, no. In a basic level, just put a name that what is the image about.
The product. Okay.
Yeah, of the product. Yeah. No problem. And
I think also the company name, because if someone does a Google search on images with your company name, the image is gonna pop out. I think it can, yeah.
yeah, I was saying on a basic level, it's important to have a name that specifies what is the image about. Then, okay, you can add also the company name,
The end.
or sometimes if you put the image inside an article that talks about how to choose a hammock, then some people will put as a name of the image how to choose a hammock, because they say, okay, that helps for the specific topic of the page. Yes.
What is the best practice, for example, of naming the image files? It's better to write, for example, how to choose hammock, or I don't know, the company name, /, how to choose hammock, /, something like that. Is it better to make the name short, or I can make the long one?
Yeah. So according to me, it's better to make the name short and explain what is what the picture is about, because imagine, okay, you have an article about how to choose the hammock, and you have, I don't know, 12 images. And now for every image you put how to choose the hammock, how to choose hammock, how to choose hammock, with something else after, of course. That may be an indication that you are trying too hard. You are really trying to, yeah, you really want to over-optimize, they say, that page for that keyword, and that it makes it may hurt your ranking. So yeah, I would say, yeah, again, SEO experts will tell you different, yeah, they may have different opinions and debate about this type of things. For me, for someone that starts from zero already, to put a name that is meaningful, has to do with the image, is already a big step. Now, well, just briefly, this is this is the image of the map. So the file name is WPOK customer map. In this case, okay, I put the company name and what is the image about, the title, and the alt text. Ah, well, it's in Italian, but yeah, this is the alternative text. That's also yeah, something you should fill in and put the name of the image here. Yeah, okay, so the second thing is the Search Console. Again, I already mentioned this. It gives important insights on the SEO. So if you have some, for example, if Google gives a penalty to your website because it detects that there is something wrong, or if you have what I say, duplicate pages, so different pages with the same content, you can see that in Search Console. So it's, again, very important to add your website to Search Console. And then, yeah, this in WordPress you can add tags to the articles, and sometimes people think that it's like Instagram, that you should add as many hashtags as possible because more people will see your article. That is not true. Actually, it's better to keep to limit the number of tags and categories and avoid too many of them. So if your articles talk about 3 categories, just do 3 categories. Don't make 1 category for each new article. Don't add a lot of tags for each article because you just create more and more pages that they are empty. I mean, they only have 1 article, and that's not good for SEO. So better have few less pages, but with valuable content. And well, as a general rule, think about the users, not about Google, when writing content. So again, if I write an article that say, yeah, we provide WordPress support, and we have a team that does WordPress support, and our WordPress support services, I mean, that's not something nice to read because you clearly see that there is this, the keywords are being repeated a lot. That's what sometimes people do to please Google, but that's not, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. Actually, the articles that are more nice to read, that are more engaging, the ones that people spend time to read, more time on the page to read the whole article, are the ones that Google gives more visibility to. Yeah, this is there were the 6 most common mistakes, and this is a slide with a summary of tools and plugins that I mentioned in the presentation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About Yoast SEO, is there any benefit in taking the paid version? Because it's free.
The paid version has a, okay, so if sometimes you may think, oh, if I pay the premium version, my website will rank better. No, it doesn't work like that. It has more features. It has the support. For example, you don't have premium support in the free version. And it has a couple of features, like you can target more keywords. You can analyze the page for more than 1 keyword. In the free version, you can only analyze the page for 1 keyword. And yeah, better tool for the internal links. But let's not think that if I buy the premium version, my website will jump up. It will get more traffic automatically. Yeah, so thank you, and stay clear from volcanoes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you have questions, any question?
Your contact details if we want to contact you.
Okay, yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. There's one thing about images, and it's not a question, but I think that it's a tip. Nowadays, Google really cares about if the images are original. So if you are using old images, it is worse than if you upload your own images, for example. Names always small, long names is not a good idea. Try to make a difference between the name of the file and the alt, because the description must be on the alt, and the name must be short and must identify the image. There is no sense on adding maybe the name of your company, but the good thing is people is not going to look for the name of your company, it's going to look for a hammock. And later, but looking for images. So if they see the hammock, they will be redirected to your page when they really want to do it. So the important thing is it's a hammock, and later they can go to your page and see that you are selling them. So it's more this idea.
You would put just hammock.
Well, I would call it hammock or something to make a difference, like the color of the hammock or the material or
Whatever you
this
need people to
Balinese,
search.
Balinese hammock, but something to make it specific. But don't forget that the description must be on the out.
But I will have hundreds of pictures maybe. So I will call them hammock Bali 1, hammock Bali 2,
It won't be a
hammock
problem.
Bali 5.
It won't be a problem. But you have the general idea that it's a Balinese hammock
Yellow
number
hammock,
1,
blue
2,
hammock.
it's the same.
Yellow one or two.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe simple and stupid question, but for example, I want someone to make me a WordPress website. Who should I search online to help me? Because I know that some people design WordPress, some people support or something like that. And I have an idea for the website, but who should I talk first?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, because as you say, there are different roles. Like some people are more into designing, some people are more into development. So, well, obviously you better ask to more people. And my suggestion, something I think is very important, ask the questions that, pay attention to the questions that they make you. So explain what you want to do, and then let them ask you the questions and try to figure out, okay, are they, sometimes you find developers that everything is about writing code, and sometimes they tend to make things overcomplicated when you really don't need that. So if these people start talking about technologies or details, then for me it's a bit of a alarm. Like, okay, maybe this guy is going to has a too much of a technical approach. So I think someone that can that understand also the business you want to have, the business model you have, and what is the type of marketing that you want to do. So a bit more holistic approach, and not just people that talk about the code or about specific aspects. Yeah. Having said that, there are a lot of also one thing for someone that starts. You think, okay, should I go with a freelancer? Should I contact an agency? That's also something important, because of course agencies they are more expensive, but they provide often with a team of people and different competences. A freelancer, you just rely on one person most of the time. So that's also something to consider. And if it's a freelancer, okay, avoid being locked into only working with that person, because it has all the access to your website, or he's taking care of things that nobody else can take care of. Yeah.
You're here locally?
Part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm here till mid-December.
Are there other local resources here, or people that you trust if I wanted to learn more about WordPress? Or ways to find them?
Here in Ubud, well, there is Gianpaolo that maybe you know, he GP.
Yeah.
Now he's not here for a few days. He's away, but he has a agency, and yeah, they work a lot with WordPress. So.
And why did you focus on WordPress only? Because you think that's the only one for e-commerce, for website?
Oh no, well, I believe in specialization, and it's a very WordPress is very popular, and I think is a very good choice for many companies that start or that they want to go online. So
there are some stats. I think 50% of the websites in the world run on WordPress, even big one like Disney's or BBC. So
If you're a small business starting from scratch, are there any themes that you recommend?
yeah, there are so many. There are millions of themes, and depends on really on what's about. Like for
Figure out what good themes are.
well, one thing I do sometimes, like if you have to do a website for let's say you are a lawyer and you need a website, then if you search the best themes for a lawyer website, best WordPress themes for lawyers, then you find these articles that are a collection of these themes, and it's a good way to start because you see you can easily compare and have an idea of what they are. But when choosing a theme, it's important to check that is maintained. So there are the developer is still working on it, giving you release, and normally you can see when was the last release date. And well, if the theme is 6 months old, then it's more than 6 months old. Probably, yeah, it's not a good sign because the good themes are updated almost every month.
What is the best practice, for example, to buy a theme and, for example, give to someone to edit it, or it's better to find someone who will build the website from scratch?
Okay, well, you will hear very different opinions on this.
It took me a month to figure out how to install the damn thing. Like I couldn't figure out how to get it up and running. I was watching tutorials on how to just install everything. Sorry.
No, but I was saying you will hear different opinions in this. More technical oriented people will say, oh no, the themes that you buy are crap, you know, you have to develop from zero your own theme. Of course, it's much more expensive. There is a problem of maintaining the code because it's not that, okay, the website is done, that's it. When something changes, the new iPhone, I don't know, X, Y, whatever, the new iPhone has a screen this size, and then suddenly your website doesn't look good anymore on mobile. So okay, you need an update on your theme, and so the person that made the theme, actually you have to contact him and say, hey, I have this problem. He has to provide a fix. If you buy a theme on Theme Forest or this type of marketplaces for $50, the person will probably continue developing the theme. So when there is a new iPhone, he will release a new version that already works well with that. So yeah, technically the plugins, the themes that you buy are a bit more slower because there are a lot of options in the theme, so they tend to be a bit slower, and probably the code is not as clean. I mean, technically, I would say they may be inferior, but in the long run, I will not advise to start to do a theme from zero. For us, I am talking about a small company. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Does it take to create a WordPress e-commerce site for a beginner? I'm not a techie at all. I have a Wix site. I need to swap, change for WordPress.
Okay.
How long is it going to take me? 2 days.
But to you to do the work or to
redo everything.
It's
1 week.
hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because you have to install WordPress, the theme, configure the e-commerce solution, migrate the